The Russians picked up on Pillman's move to up the interest rate.
That's impossible.
I'm telling you, they picked up on it. It may cost us a few points.
But Pillman's dropped. I already told Peter. He was thrown out of the cabinet meeting last Wednesday.
Took too long.
You have to accept that in government circles, things sometimes take longer than you expect.
No, I don't. I don't have to accept that at all. And if you should ever hope to aspire above the rank of political dog's body, you should also stop accepting it. We could have lost the whole deal.
But you haven't.
We could have lost it.
But you haven't lost it, Geoffrey, and the credits are secure.
Nothing, absolutely nothing, must be allowed to interfere with the flow of those credits, and that includes Pillman and the rest of them.
I think you've made that point.
Any mention of laser technology inside Whitehall must be buried without trace. Nothing even mildly unfavorable must be allowed to reach the surface.
It is done, Geoffrey.
Sir Peter wanted me to make that perfectly clear.
You've done that, now drop it.
Oh, yes. Word is that in another 6 months' time, there's going to be mayhem in another little corner of Southeast Asia. If you want to make some smart money, I think I can put your finger on some stock that's going to treble in a short time. If you're interested, let me know.
You're devoid of conscience, aren't you?
Devoid of what?
You have no loyalty, except to your wealth and your overinflated sense of self-importance.
That is only partially true. My loyalties are to myself and to the company. Where else would you have me place my loyalties? With kings and queens? With governments? The company outlives them all. Your nationalism and your patriotism mean nothing to me.
Perhaps you may not have noticed, but there's a deal of difference between car tires and laser weapons.
Bet your ass I've noticed.
You may not be aware of it or wish to acknowledge it, but there is such a thing as a national interest. You are selling armaments to Russia.
Now, Edward, that is not the way to look at it. You know that.
You are dealing against the national interest. That is now. Don't you interrupt me. That is my opinion. I cannot be a party to this. I cannot help you. I'm not going to obstruct you, but in the matter of the laser weapons, I will not help you. We've enough problems funding our own defense budget without chipping in to help out Russia.
Afraid I can't let you do that, Edward.
That is my decision, not yours.
Even a neutral stance would be obstructive to us. I have an investment to protect. The workers here, the British workers, they don't appreciate what they've got. I'm sure you agree with that. That is why we are taking it away from them. People must work for us on our terms, otherwise they won't work at all. Can't seem to get that into their thick skulls, can they? We've been telling them for years. They're going to have to come in line. They're going to have to settle for exactly what we give them, and no more. Those are our terms.
I feel deeply compromised in this matter. I cannot help you.
What we have in Russia, all over the Eastern Bloc, is an employer's dream. Russian workers keep their traps shut and get on with the job. If they strike, they get knocked on the skull and locked up as criminals. Now, that's what I call a solid investment. Back it, put your money on it. Russia is an important investment from which the company reaps massive returns by courtesy of the state. And we have a clear-cut commitment to support and maintain that investment, to maintain the communist status quo. You have to realize that. The corporation is a defender of the state with no interest in the freedom of the individual. The gulags are an investment to be maintained and protected. So you see, Edward, you really can't back out at this time, can you?
I have a creeping feeling in my gut, especially when I'm in your presence, that you are feeding the beast that will devour us all. You're gun running. You're dealing with the enemy. There's no way around it. That is what they are, the enemy.
Don't you forget that. I want you to go on saying that, Edward, loud and clear. Russia is the enemy, the beast that will devour us all.
I'm afraid your sarcasm's lost on me.
Oh, come on, Teddy. How can you have an arms industry without an enemy? Got to have an enemy. Can't demand that a nation make economic sacrifices on the one hand and then convince them that it's in their interest to spend billions of pounds of their money on nuclear armaments because somebody's waving a stick at them in Chad or Ooga Booga. You've got to have an enemy. Thank God for Russia. She's the greatest enemy we ever had. Let's not forget that.
You're a thug. I won't say a fascist, it sounds like an excuse. You trade on decency. You're a thug.
Understand, Whittaker, that life on this planet is not going to get any better. Except for the few. Now, I recognized that as a reality long ago. And if governments and politicians want to stay in power, they are going to have to go with those who hold the power. With us. They are going to have to join our organizations, our clubs, our councils, our commissions. Otherwise, they may as well forget it and join the Sally Army. Or start digging their pit. Now, we've got a lot of work to tie up over the next few days, and I want you to ring me on Monday morning. Just to let me know that everything's fine at your end.